back this week with another episode of Sort of Baking with Jordan. I hope you guys are excited. I'm definitely not the best baker, but I like butter just as much as Paula Deen, so whatever I make is probably going to be good. Today, we're going to be making a fruit pizza. Now, I love pizza. It's got bread, meat, cheese, vegetables, and even fruit if you like pineapple on it, all in one dish. It's the best. And now we're turning the best meal ever into a dessert. What could be better? Families, here's the catch. This coming Sunday, we're continuing our series called Show and Tell, and we'll begin learning all about the fruit of the Spirit. This lesson will be posted at 8 a.m. so you can watch it together. At the end of each lesson, we'll include some family talk time, which consists of questions, Bible verses, and goals that you can set and work towards as a family. I'll show you how to make this fruit pizza so that you and your family can make it on Sunday and enjoy it during your family talk time. Let's go ahead and head to the kitchen. All right, so we're in the kitchen and I've got my coffee made. I made it a little bit earlier this time so it didn't burn my mouth like last time. But before we get started cooking, we're gonna learn the Bible verse that goes along with the fruit of the Spirit. So that's in Galatians 5:22 through 23. So I want you to try to say this with me and do the action so we can learn it together. It says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control." I love fruit. Does anybody else? The fruit being described in this verse is not actual fruit, and we'll talk more about that on Sunday. But what it's actually talking about is the kind of actions, words, and attitudes that we should have as Christians. A person who has a strong and healthy relationship with Jesus will have all these things because the Spirit is in them. I'm excited to talk to you all about that more on Sunday, but right now let's get to baking. The awesome news about this recipe is it's super simple. All you need is sugar cookie dough, and you can make that with the ingredients that I have back here and make that from scratch. You can buy a packet from Walmart and use the ingredients on the back and make it, or you could be super simple and just buy a roll of cookie dough and make it like that. You'll also need Cool Whip, milk, cream cheese, vanilla, instant vanilla pudding, and whatever kind of fruit that you like. So I guess you guys knew that I was going to make this because when I went to Walmart, they were completely out of sugar cookie mix in the packet. So I'm going to mix up a batch from scratch, and I'll include that recipe in the comments in case you have the same problem that I did. This recipe is actually called dummy-proof sugar cookies, so I'm all set. It's gonna be super easy, and I guess it can't be messed up. All right, now we need to preheat the oven. So my recipe says 350 degrees, but you just check out your recipe or your dough and figure out what the right temperature is and go ahead and preheat your oven. The first thing we need to do is we need to prepare our sugar cookie mix. So I'm about to do that from scratch using these ingredients back here, and you just need to do whatever you need to do, whether that's just open the dough that you already bought or mix together the packet. But I'm going to do this in super speed because I know some of you are not needing to do all of these steps. So just hang tight and I'm going to prepare my dough real quick. Alright, so my dough is all mixed up. That took me probably only about 3 or 4 minutes in real time, but we sped it up and it probably only lasted about 2 seconds for you to watch. That was really a quick and easy sugar cookie recipe. So what we're gonna do now is we want this to be a crust for a pizza. So we're going to line a pizza pan with aluminum foil. So we've got this right here, and then we're just gonna spread our dough all around this whole thing so that it covers the pan. All right, so I'm just patting down this dough. I may have had a little bit too much that I made to fill this pan, so I'm gonna find out. You know, dough in the oven, it does expand, and I really do not want to have a mess in the bottom of my oven, so I'm trying to be a little bit careful about that. I do think I need a little bit more, actually. So I'm just gonna take some and just press it down. Try to get it, you know, even, like an even layer, because then it will bake more evenly, and hopefully you won't have places that are still doughy and undercooked. And if you have some extra, you can just make a little personal pan pizza, which I might end up doing. So again, it never has to be perfect. That's pretty much probably my slogan for this cooking show, is it doesn't have to be perfect. So that's what I did. Very even, and since it's got foil on it, that'll be easy cleanup too, which I really like. So if our oven's preheated, then we're gonna put this in And I don't really know how long we're gonna bake it. Usually sugar cookies you only bake for about 10 minutes, but they're usually not this huge. So I'm gonna start with maybe 12 minutes and I'm gonna check it because I don't, and my husband, we do not like crunchy sugar cookies or any kind of cookies. So put this in the oven and I'll come back and let you know how much time it takes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the kitchen. So everything that you use to make your sugar cookies, you can go ahead and wash that and clean that up so we have more space to work in. Now we're gonna practice our fruit ninja skills. So the fruits that I'm using today are strawberries, blueberries, and I'm gonna cut up some kiwi. I feel like kiwi is very underrated because I really like it, but I actually never see anyone in real life eating it. But today we're going to. So you just wanna you can really cut them however you want, but I'm just gonna slice them like this. So you can kind of see the thickness, about that thick. You could also kind of go in like quarters, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So that would be how you would do quarters instead. So you just cut those however you want. Blueberries you obviously don't have to cut up. You can just put those on there whole. And then for a kiwi, this is gonna be interesting. You just have to peel the skin off, so it's not too difficult. I just get a knife and peel it. We're just gonna peel that whole thing. All right, and then you just cut the ends off. We're gonna slice that into thin slices, kind of like we did for the strawberry. You can also use banana. If I wanted to put grapes on it, I would just cut those in half. Another good option might be pineapple. So just prepare your fruit. I'm gonna cut up maybe 4 more strawberries and 1 more kiwi for my fruit pizza. Here's the fruit that I cut up for my pizza. So my timer just went off, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the pizza crust out of the oven, and it was probably in there for 12 to 15 minutes because it is a little bit bigger again. So let's check that out. Okay, so this is what your sugar cookie crust should look like when it comes out of the oven, and we need this to cool before we put the whipped cream topping on it. So just set that to the side. Sometimes I even put mine in the freezer if I'm being impatient, which patience is a fruit of the spirit, so maybe I just need to practice that and leave it out. But we want that to cool completely before we put the topping on. So just set that to the side, and then we're gonna go ahead and make this Cool Whip, I don't really know what you call it, fruit dip, I guess. So for this, you'll need your bowl and a mixer and some measuring spoons. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have to be honest, I don't really have a recipe for this because it just has a lot of good stuff in it. And my opinion is if you're using like cream cheese, Cool Whip, pudding, like if there's a little too much of one of those things, it's not going to be bad because they're all good, right? And so, however, if your family, I've heard that there are people who don't like cream cheese. So you can totally leave that out, but I've never added a cream cheese to a recipe and then thought to myself like, oh, I should have left that out. Because it's just really, really good. So you do need the entire 8-ounce container of Cool Whip, and this has defrosted in the fridge and it sat out for a little while, so it's not frozen anymore. Oops. All right, there's the Cool Whip. Now we're gonna add this vanilla instant pudding. I think I'm gonna use a half a packet of this. Again, I'm not using exact measurements, but I've never made this and thought it tasted bad. So that's what I'm saying is these are all really good ingredients, so you can't go wrong. Oh, that may have been a little more than half. Again, see, this is what I'm gonna prove to you, that it doesn't really matter because it's all just gonna be really good. And as far as cream cheese, I'm gonna use maybe like an ounce of that, and that's marked on the package, so you can just look at the aluminum packaging and figure out how much an ounce is. It's 1/8 of the bar of cream cheese. I'm going to mix that up and then see how much milk that I need with it because it just depends on how thick or thin you want it. So just take your mixer and be careful because remember you just put powdered pudding mix in there. So turn it on low at, oh goodness, this could be really bad. Maybe I should have got a bigger bowl. Oh, wait, why is it not working? Oh, here we go. No, this is fine. Just turn it on low at first. Then you can speed it up a little bit. Oh, whoops. So that started out really light and fluffy, and then it got really dense, kind of like a mousse almost. And so that is, I'm actually not gonna add any milk to that because I think that that's gonna spread and be really good. So we need to wait again until our crust is totally cooled, or else this will just melt all over it. So I will be back in just a few minutes after my crust is cooled. Freezer time. So now that this is cooled, we're gonna take I'm gonna call it icing. We're gonna ice the top of the pizza. So just take spoonfuls of it and just spread it all around so the whole top is covered. Just smear it all around. It can be as thick or as thin as you want it to be. Come all the way out to the edge. All right, so I've got that covered. I had a little bit left in my bowl because I do have a little mini one here that I'll finish in just a minute. But here's what this looks like. And now I'm gonna take my fruit, and you can just, you know, put it on there, whatever, however you like, but I'm gonna make kind of a design so you can start in the middle and work your way out, or on the outside and work your way in, but you just kind of make a pattern and you just put the fruit all covering the whole top of the pizza. I'm gonna start with kiwi and put those around the outside edge. I'm gonna leave a little space in between so maybe I can fit some blueberries or something in there. So that's the first step. Now I'm adding blueberries, and again, you can use any kind of fruit you want. I have used grapes before and I think it's really good. Bananas tend to brown kind of easily. If you're gonna save this for the next day, or if you're gonna have a lot of leftovers, I might not use bananas because they do kind of turn brown quickly. So I added some, oh, that one just moved. Get back there. I'm gonna put some strawberries on, and then I'm just gonna finish it up, and I'll show you when it's all done. This is my finished pizza, and we just really wanted to give you guys something to do together as a family. And then again, during our family talk time on Sunday, you can eat this and just talk to each other about what it means to include the fruit of the Spirit in your life. Have an awesome day.